In today's video, we'll cover how matching works with SmartMatchApp. Once you've set up your custom profile fields, match preference fields, and submission forms to collect information from your clients, the next step is finding them a match. This video will guide you through that process. Let's get started. Head over to any client's profile. Then click on the Matching tab. Initially, you'll only see your match groups and the suggested matches. At first, the suggested matches might seem blank, so you'll want to hit the refresh button to update the suggested match list. It will then show you the suggested matches for this client based on their profile and match preferences. You can click on the three dots to check their match details further. The first part shows the match percentage of the client's match preferences based on the suggested matches profile. The green ones indicate that the suggested matches profile perfectly fits the preferences of our client, while the red ones indicate the profile of our suggested match that does not fall into our client's preferences. On the other hand, the white ones indicate that there's no information to match for that field. Either the client didn't indicate their preference, or the suggested match didn't have any information for this profile field to bump with the match. The arrows signify the weight placed on each field. The red ones indicate high weight for matching, the orange one indicate medium weight, and the blue ones are low priority. Depending on the degree of the matched profile of the suggested match to our client's preferences, the percentage will be shown. Continuing below is the match percentage and details of the match for our suggested match to our client. As a matchmaker, work still needs to be done. You can decide what's best for your clients. These data are tools that you can use to help you judge whether they are a match or not. If you think these two are a good match, then we can close out of this match details. Click three dots again and add it to a match. Meanwhile, if you think they aren't a good match and don't want this to appear again as a suggested profile for this client, you can totally archive this suggestion. Let's say we want to archive this suggestion. So let's select Archive. This person will no longer appear in the match suggestion for this client if we click Refresh. In case you change your mind and need to unarchive a suggestion, you can click on Dashboard. Click Suggestions and do an advanced search. Locate Suggestion Archived and select Yes from the drop-down. Then click Show. This will show the archived match. To unarchive it, just tick the box. Click Actions and select Unarchive. This person will then appear once again under that person's suggested matches. Please note that this feature is only available for premium and enterprise users. Let's say that in this example, this match is good, so we'll add it to a match. A pop-up box will appear where you can select the match group you want to put this match under. Let's say we want to put it under Potential Introductions. You can also add a note about this match to help you in your matchmaking, then click Save. Once the page refreshes, you can see that the suggested match is now an actual match for this person, but under the match group Potential Match. The same goes for the other client being matched. From here, we can send them either a one-way introduction or a mutual introduction. For more in-depth information on how to send these, check out the separate training video we have for sending introductions. There are also several things you can do from here. You can add a note, survey, or an event. You can also move them to your other match groups depending on your workflow. You can also assign them a date, complete a scheduled date, archive the match, or even delete a match. When you archive a match, this means that this match will no longer appear on any of the match groups for both profiles. Let's try that and see what happens. Once the page refreshes, that match is no longer listed in either profile. You can also do this in bulk by clicking on each match profiles, selecting Actions right here, and selecting Archive. To unarchive a match, for premium and enterprise subscribers, simply click Dashboard. Then click Matches. Then do an advanced search. Look for the field called Match Archived. Select Yes on the drop-down. And click Show. Tick the box right across the match you want to unarchive. Then click Actions. Then select Unarchive. This will then show this particular match on both profiles. Under each matched profile, you can see several tabs such as Info, Notes, Surveys, Events, and see the timeline. Going back on what you can do in this match. We have the Delete match. This resets this match and simply goes back to the suggested pool of profiles for this client. You can also manually add a match from here, or export this list of matches in an Excel file for your documentation. Next tab is the Suggestions tab, still under Matches. This is where you'll see a clearer list of all the suggested matches for this particular client. This icon right here signifies the best mutual match for each other. It means that each client scored high percentage for their match details against each other's preferences. Just the same, you can select one or multiple matches to add to this client's match or even archive them. You can also see an advanced search tab here, but we can discuss this more in the next tab. And that tab is the Search tab. This is where you can see the entire list of all your clients in your database. From here, you can do an advanced search based on personal preferences for this client, or based on your own judgment as a matchmaker. Clicking the blue icon here shows the match details of this client versus this other person. You can select each or multiple clients from here and add them as a match. Lastly, we have the Schedule. This is commonly used to keep track of your clients' dates. You can assign to introduce them to a match within a certain amount of period, and even link them to a contact as you are both bound by your agreement or terms. You'll need to activate the said schedule to make it into effect. Depending on your match settings, you can set which match groups are considered as a successful match group or a declined match group. There is no black and white rule here, as this depends on how you run matchmaking for your network or community. Let's say, in this particular example, our successful match group is the active introductions while our declined match group is the past introductions. So let's add this client here under the active introductions group. Then let's head back to our schedule. You'll notice that this client is now counted towards this client's scheduled match. You can add notes here for your reference, or delete this to reset the information. The system will automatically compute the date interval based on the length of the period set, but you can also set this manually by changing the dates. Other things you can do from here is to put this on hold, deactivate the schedule, or delete it completely. And that is how matches work with SmartMatchApp. Keep in mind that matching is still dependent on how you do your workflow. It is also important to remember that as a matchmaker, you still have the final say on whether you find a pair to either a good match or not. As always, these tools are here to help make matchmaking easier for you. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow matchmakers. Check out the other videos we have in store for you linked at the end of this video. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe and bell button to be the first to know when we upload new pro tips. And we'll see you again in our next one.